Have you ever sat down to do something important only to find yourself checking your phone a few minutes later? One notification becomes 10. One quick scroll becomes half an hour. By the end of the day, you feel busy, but nothing meaningful gets done. The truth is, most people are not losing because they lack talent. They are losing because they cannot control their attention. In today's world, focus is no longer a simple skill. It is a competitive advantage. And if you learn how to train it, you can outperform people who are smarter, more experienced, and even more talented than you. We live in a world designed to distract us. Every app, notification, advertisement, and endless stream of content is competing for one thing: your attention. The problem is, that attention is limited. Every time it gets pulled away, your ability to think deeply and make progress becomes weaker. In this video, you'll learn practical ways to strengthen your focus, reduce distractions, and train your mind to stay locked on what truly matters. These are simple principles, but when practiced consistently, they can completely change how you work, learn, and live. Most people believe they have a motivation problem when they actually have an attention problem. Throughout the day, small distractions steal tiny pieces of mental energy. Social media, unnecessary notifications, random browsing, constant scrolling, and frequent interruptions slowly drain your ability to focus without you even noticing it happening. The first step is awareness. You need to start paying close attention to where your time actually goes each day. For a few days, observe your habits honestly, without trying to change anything. You may be surprised to discover that far more energy is being lost than you ever realized before. And most of it happens in very small moments that seem harmless. Once you clearly identify these attention leaks, you can begin closing them step by step. Focus naturally improves when your attention stops escaping in every direction at once. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change everything overnight. They delete every app, create strict rules for themselves, block all distractions at once, and then quickly return to their old habits because the system is too extreme to maintain. Real progress works in a different way. You need to reduce distractions gradually instead of eliminating them instantly. If you find yourself checking social media constantly, start by setting small and realistic limits instead of total removal. If your phone interrupts your work, move it slightly farther away during focused tasks so it becomes less accessible. Small improvements, repeated consistently over time, create lasting change that actually sticks. Your brain adapts much better to gradual adjustments than extreme restrictions. The goal is not perfection or control over everything. The real goal is creating an environment where focus becomes easier than distraction. Your environment influences your mind far more than most people realize in daily life. A cluttered physical space often creates a cluttered mental state, making it harder to think clearly or stay consistent with deep work. A noisy or chaotic environment makes concentration even more difficult because your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. If you genuinely want better focus, you need to design your surroundings in a way that supports it naturally. Keep your workspace simple and organized so your brain is not overloaded with unnecessary visual input. Remove distractions that are not required for the task you are doing. Create a space that clearly signals to your mind that it is time to work, not time to wander. When your environment is structured for attention, willpower becomes far less important. Instead of constantly fighting distractions, you reduce their presence before they even reach your awareness. Focus is like a muscle, and just like any muscle, it only becomes stronger through consistent training. The longer you train your attention, the more stable and powerful it becomes over time. Most people expect themselves to concentrate deeply for long periods without any practice, but that expectation rarely leads to success. Instead, you should begin with shorter periods of focused work where your only goal is to give full attention to one task without switching or multitasking. Once you become comfortable with that, gradually increase the duration of your focus sessions, step by step. Over weeks and months, your ability to stay concentrated will naturally grow stronger and more stable. Mental endurance is built in the same way physical endurance is built, through repetition and consistency. Every focus session you complete becomes another training rep for your brain, strengthening your ability to stay present. Many people believe productivity means working continuously without stopping, but in reality, effective focus depends on proper recovery. Short and intentional breaks help refresh the mind and prevent mental fatigue from building up over time. The key difference is between intentional breaks and unconscious distraction. Instead of getting lost in endless scrolling or random activity, you should take structured pauses that actually restore your energy. Stand up, stretch your body, take a short walk, breathe deeply, or simply rest your eyes for a moment. These small but intentional pauses allow your attention system to reset, so you can return to your work with greater clarity and stability. Focus is not about forcing yourself to work harder every single minute. It is about managing your mental energy intelligently, so you can sustain performance for longer periods. Long-term change happens only when focus becomes part of your identity instead of just a temporary effort. Instead of thinking, "I am trying to focus," you begin to shift your mindset to, "I am someone who protects my attention." This small change in identity has a powerful effect on behavior over time. Every small daily action reinforces this identity, especially moments when you ignore distractions, complete important tasks, or choose presence instead of mental drifting. Each of these actions strengthens the version of yourself that is capable of deep focus. Motivation naturally comes and goes depending on circumstances, but identity remains stable and consistent. When focus becomes part of who you are rather than something you are trying to do, discipline no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes a natural expression of your character. Focus is not something you either have or do not have. It is a skill that is developed through training over time. Every distraction you resist, every focused session you complete, and every moment where you choose intentional attention over mindless reaction strengthens your mental control. You do not need perfect conditions to begin, and you do not need constant motivation to continue. What you truly need is consistent practice, repeated daily without overthinking. Protect your attention carefully, train your focus step by step, and over time, you will begin to notice a powerful shift. The same world that once easily distracted you will gradually become a space where you move with clarity, purpose, and control.